Good morning to those of you that have just joined. Lovely to have you with me. Good morning to those who have just joined. Good morning, Pauline. We'll just wait a few minutes for everyone to join us. Good morning, Brenda. Hope you're well. Hope you're well, Pauline, as well. Morning, Helen. Hope you're good too, Helen. Yes, I'm good. Thanks, Brenda. Morning, Nikki. Hope you had a lovely day on Monday. I know you went out on the Sunday as well, didn't you, or Saturday when you were celebrating? That's good, Helen. Morning, Nicola. Hope you're well. Yes, good here. Thank you, Nicola. Glad everything's okay with you too. So I'll just wait a couple of minutes. That's great news, Nikki. Nikki. Glad you had a lovely time. My dirty weekend, Helen. It was fun. It was long. It was fun, thank you. Yes, I'll show you what I've done so far because we didn't finish. There was quite a lot involved in it, so I will show you what I've done a little bit later on. It was. I did enjoy it. I enjoyed most of it. There were some bits that I don't want to say it wasn't any good because it was. It was very good, and Kay had put a lot of effort into it, and there was a lot of work going on, and we got an amazing kit and everything. I enjoyed it. It's very different not being in the room, and we were put into groups. And sometimes we were chatty and sometimes we weren't. So it's kind of, I guess if you're around a table, it's easier just to, I don't know, speak, although we were on Zoom, so we were talking. But yeah, it was nice. It was. I enjoyed it. Bit tired afterwards though. So yeah, they were long days and a bit of homework on the Saturday night as well. It was good, thank you. Okay, right. I don't know who's joining. I know that both Sue and Susan aren't able to join us. So we'll make a start. I don't know who else is coming along. So today we're going to be using acetate with alcohol inks. And I am going to use the alcohol inks themselves in the bottles. And I've used the ordinary ones for this background, which is why I've changed. So I have started with blue and I've used the pearl ones here. They do give a little shimmer still on the acetate. You can see they are a different consistency to these close up. Probably quite tricky to capture that on camera. But hello Nikki and hello Moya, thanks. So as you can see, I don't know if I can capture the shimmer on that one. And then this one, which isn't actually attached, you can see it is a clearer, there is a depth to this colour here that I've used the pearl, as opposed to this where I've used the ordinary ink. There is a difference. So that's what we're going to do. And you might get messy. So, you know, just warning you up front. So the first thing, oh, and what I was going to say was, if you don't have a lot of alcohol ink colours and you want to do this kind of work, and you have alcohol markers, they will do the same job. So you can use the markers as well, just by spreading them around. They're not, and you can put a little bit of blending solution on the felt pad and move it around a bit as well, just to let you know, just in case you're thinking you want a colour that you don't actually have as an ink. You could try your pens and try it on a spare piece of acetate before we go any further, before you actually go this far. Although because it is on acetate, you can wipe it off relatively straightforwardly. I wouldn't say it was that easy, but you can get it off. So what we're going to do then is we're going to start with the one that I've done the butterflies on. I got a bit carried away with this one and bent him too far, but I think he looks quite cool. And I'm going to use the pink frog stamps today. I've decided I'm going to use these. This one is a clarity stamp, so we'll use that one to do the second one, and this is the first one. All right. This takes a little bit more work, this first one. So we are going to stamp them out. Now, those of you with heat-resistant acetate, you can do what I'm going to do. And those of you that only have the ordinary acetate will need to use the stays on, because it's the only thing that's going to dry. Nothing else is going to dry on the acetate. That's why you need to use the stays on. And despite the fact that I've just cut everything and prepped everything, oh yeah, that is what I want. Try and find a clear sheet of paper, a clear sheet of film. So the first thing we're going to do is stamp whatever it is you want to stamp out. So let's just move these out the way for the minute. And I'm going to bring in my matte paper so that you can actually see what I'm doing. Right, the first thing, because I am going to heat emboss, the first thing I'm going to do is pop some powder over it. It also helps the stamping as well. It goes a little bit, because you're going to have to be really careful because you can slide on this. If you want to use the press, do so. Just be bare, you might only get one press. So I wouldn't attempt to do a second press, because the chances are, unless you've really held your acetate down, it might move slightly when you try and lift it. So I'm going to cover my acetate I'm going to do the bit where I'm stamping on this one. Now, if you're using the, well, any ink actually, the VersaFine will definitely stay open. The archival tends to dry more quickly, but of course we're not on a permanent surface, permeable surface, shall I say, so that won't last either, won't dry very quickly either. Make sure you've got your embossing powder ready. Okay, put that over there, and I will stamp all three again. So depending on what you're stamping, how many you're doing, I've just done 3. Which one did I use? This one and this one. There are a number on here. There's 1 large, 2 medium, and 3 smaller. So this is the small one to that one. This is the small one to that one, and this is the small one to that one. As you can see, I've mixed mine up completely. They're all different. So it's the butterfly count weekend, isn't it? So let's go for difference, shall we? So I'm going to do my large one first. And let's just stamp this up. So you want to make sure your stamp is covered. You don't necessarily need as much ink if you're going onto permeable card, because it's not going to soak through. And we need to be ready. If it does move, don't worry, because you can wipe it off. You can get to it quite quickly. So we need to go through quite gently and just place it on. You want a tiny bit of pressure. I wouldn't press too hard. If you're using stays on, make sure you get a good coverage. Pop it down, and again, you won't need to leave it very long. In fact, it will start to dry and it will stick. Oh, there we go. It didn't take everything. For me, I hope you got a better. Now, I can show you this bit. Let me do. See, that's why I've done it. Yeah, believe that. You believe anything. So what you can do, I just take a damp cloth, and if you're not happy, because it's on acetate, just wipe it off. There you go. And start again. There you go. Method in me madness. Let's see if I can get it done properly. So obviously I need a bit more ink. I didn't press everywhere on the butterfly, clearly. Okay. Stamp again. Make sure I've got enough ink. And then, hi Lucinda. We haven't really done anything. All we're doing is stamping the first image onto the acetate. So you just prepare your acetate, and if you're going to heat emboss, have your powder ready as well. If you're using stays on them, make sure you get enough ink that the stamp remains in contact with the acetate. You do have to move more quickly because the stays on dries more quickly because it's solvent. Don't worry, it won't all disappear because we're going to work on the back of the acetate. Right, let's hope this is a little better. Yeah, that's better. I do have something on my stamp. Let's hope it's only a bit of thread and it won't really matter for this anyway. Nope. Looks like I got a little line on my stamp. Right, anyway, I digress. So this doesn't get smudged or anything. Let's get the embossing powder over it if you're doing the embossing powder. I'm just going to place that to one side a minute. And we'll do all the heating together. And then I'm going to do the other two. Getting that stamp off. And put it back. Ooh. Yes. My butterfly that I've just stamped nearly went flying. Literally. Not a good move. Right. And I'm going to repeat that process. Okay. So I know it's a glorious day. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for the support as well you've been giving me. Much appreciated. Right, let's make sure that the ink has settled this time. And left. And then I got enough on there. That's a bit better. Right. Let's get this out of the way for the moment. We'll do the other one later. Okay, let's move that one out of the way. And now heat emboss. Now I still do this underneath, but obviously heat emboss the way you're more comfortable with if you use the embossing powder. Make sure the gun is quite hot. Oops, it's really hard for me to angle. Am I on? And do it on one. Don't do it on one, a lower speed. That's it. It won't take that long to melt. As you can see, it goes very quickly. Once your gun is hot enough. My post lady's just turned up. Right, that's that one. And then the larger one. And a quick swipe over from the front as well, just to make sure everything is done. Now careful, because this is going to be a little bit warm for a minute. You don't want to smudge it. Got a white grain on mine. Don't know where that's come from. Unless I've got a piece of white embossing powder in there or something. I don't know. Right, next thing we're going to do is cut it out. So we're actually going to cut them out before we colour them. And there's a reason for that. One, it's easy, you can see your outlines. Two, we're going to put it on a piece of paper and move them out the way. So just leave a tiny weeny piece of acetate around the edge. So don't cut right up to it. You don't want a massive piece, just a little I don't know if you can see how I'm cutting this. So you can see that I'm not cutting right up to the embossing powder. There is a tiny weeny little piece of acetate. Can you see that? I don't know how easy it is for you to see that. Let's get this up. So can you see? Oh, tell you what, it'll be easier if I just wipe this bit off, won't it? So can you see that I've left a tiny piece of, no, you can't see it, of the acetate. So here's the embossing and here's the edge of the acetate. All right, it's very, very faint. You can't really see that very easily, can you? And I do cut all around the antennae as well, so that they're floating away. So we keep them. And then it's a little critter. To come back and finish that one in a minute. Let's get this bit done. And then wow, that is quite big, that one. Down and round. Right. Okay. So I'm just going to sort my antennae out a little bit more because they are rather large over here. Rather a lot of acetate sitting on the edge. That's it. So I've got one done there. And then I've got this one here. Wow, I don't usually leave that much of a space between them, do I? I try and get these out of the smallest piece of acetate possible. Right, it's cutting the other way around there. So let's cut this way around. Did you see use black ink and clear? Yes, black ink and clear powder is what I actually used, Lucinda. If you want to use the embossing ink and black powder, then that's fine. It doesn't really matter. You may even get a darker outline because the black will be probably sharper, the black embossing powder. I'm thinking for out, I don't know how to get it done. Well, I've learnt more about how to use Zoom. I'm just wondering whether we do Zoom for the last one. Don't know how you all feel about that. And then I can show you. Then you can talk. You can ask me questions then. Right, let's just cut this one out. Okay, let's put that to one side. Okay. Okay, Nikki. Did you have a good birthday as well, Nikki? Nikki Frown, that is, who's just said happy to Zoom. I've already asked the other one. Can't believe how amazing that you two have got the same birthday. Great. I don't. Well, I hope Bethany doesn't mind. Oh, Nikki. Sorry it was only so-so. Oh. Oh. Right, nearly done on this one. Almost as bad as watching paint dry, isn't it? Cutting out. Or watching me cut out. Let's go do that one again, like I did the other one. Oh, I'm having problems with the antennae this week, today. So I'm looking forward to seeing what stamps you've used. And again, I was going to do a Christmas idea on this one, but I decided I'm not. I might do Christmas next week, the last session actually. Ah, Lucinda, good idea. Yeah, good idea. I have, I could have used my alternate flowers, couldn't I? They've all got dyes. Talking of dyes, I don't know if you've seen, although I haven't been buying anything from Crafter's Companion recently. Well, I haven't actually since last year. I got some card, I think. I still get the emails, just in case. You never know. And yesterday they've got Christmas. They're not just Christmas actually. There's one for a birthday. They've done this die set. It is dies. There is one stamp, but the stamp is the sentiment. And it takes, the die creates the scene. One is the nativity scene. Oh, well, there's the Three Kings as well, which is only online. And then there's two non-Christmas ones that take the LED lights. So you can put the little LED lights in it and it cuts the whole lot out. It's quite interesting. And then you colour the die cuts, whatever colour you want them to be. I thought, oh, interesting. But I already know what I'm going to do for Christmas. So. Right, let's try and sort this antennae out. I don't know why. That all went a bit haywire. Let's have a look around here. Oh, I see what happened. Oh, I see what happened. Right, that's better. Looks like I very nearly cut it off. Okie dokie. So has everybody cut or die cut their images out? It's not a race, just need to know where you all are. Right. There we go. Right, let's just tidy this little lot up. Thank you, Pauline. Thank you, Nikki. Just a little piece there. Send that. This is 50 outside. To come up with a Lucinda, I'm just reading your message. Excuse me. He's seen most things you've done. Okay. Yes, I do have an idea. I'll catch up with you later on that one. It depends. You might want to do it, you might not want to do it. I can quickly try and show you something. Which should work. Right. So hopefully you have your stamps sorted, cut out. So Nikki, Pauline, Moya, Lucinda, I'm assuming yours are done if you die cut. Just going to put my stamps away. Then if you could all let me know when you're ready, that would be cool. As I said, no race. Just so I know, really, so I don't go wittering on when you're not ready. Thank you, Nicola and Helen. Gosh, it looks like it'll be a gardening weekend for me this weekend. Oh my goodness me, my poor lawn. I kind of like it the way it's looking actually, but I don't suppose the neighbours think much of it. Thank you, Helen. You could get lost in there actually. I'm tempted just to put a path in there so I can water the garden and leave it long everywhere else. Oh, Lucinda. Okay, well, hopefully you'll have your acetate to hand. Hi, Brenda. Thank you for letting me know. Oh, that's so fantastic. I'm glad Bethany's having fun in her paddling pool. We had a picture of Ensley playing in her pool. It's a really cool pool. It's got little fountains coming out of it. Little squirty bits of water coming up in the paddling pool. What John says, what, leave the lawn? He likes it long. Oh, great, Lucinda. You shouldn't be too far behind then, hopefully. You get that stamped up and die cut, we should be all right. I think the mixtures will work on the images. Well, they should, Nikki, because I'm about to use the pearl. So there is no reason to think that the mixatives wouldn't work. What I would suggest, do you have a piece of acetate to hand just to see how they actually look on the how they actually go onto the acetate? Have a little piece to hand. You also need, which I don't have to hand at all, your blending tools, just in case. We can use a paintbrush, which I'll show you. So grab your alcohol inks and your blending tools and your felts. Green. Yes, Nikki. Yeah, I'm assuming you're talking about testing it or because I'm using the pearls, whichever bit I said. But yes, definitely. I don't see why you can't use them. I might even... Shall I add a little bit? Let me think. What colour could I put in there? Gold. Let's have a look and see what... Where's my gold mixative? Rose gold. Oh, that might look good with those colours. Let's go gold. Copper. Gold. Gosh, I haven't used mine for a while. Right. So those of you using... the pearls or the mixatives, you need to give them a good shape. Yes, Nicola, that's what I was thinking, because the wildlife are going to be loving it. So I'm thinking I'm going to do that. As long as it's not interfering with the flower beds. So give them a good shake. I used them yesterday, so they're not as bad as this one. I'm going to try a little bit of gold. On here. Right, I've got my gold one. Now, when you do this, please bear in mind, it's a bit like when you're using, you know, when we've done perfect pearls on the card, on the double-sided sticky tapey stuff, when we've done the pearls, if you remember, the first colour that goes down is the colour that you see, okay? And it's the same as this in here as well. And we work from the back. So can you make sure that you've turned your thing, especially if you're using StazOn, because StazOn is a solvent, and as soon as you put this alcohol on it, it's going to move. So you do need to turn them over. So we're working from the back. All right. So the first colour, I'm just going to pop a little bit of gold on the body. Now you can, on the little ones, this is really hard to do. And hang on, I want to put on a piece of paper that's quite flat, because then we're going to move them out the way. If they can be as flat as possible, and we need to make sure that it doesn't run underneath them, okay? Which on one of them I did when I was playing around with how to put these on. It all ran into it. So to start with, I actually pound it on. I actually do put it on with the pad, and then I start to add it. Now, of course, you've got to be able to see where you're going. That's a bit hit and miss, and that's going to take up all of my little butterfly, so be careful about that one. You might not have too much of that. And then in the middle, so it does look a bit of a mess from the back, but from the front you're going to start to catch it, and it's going to catch on the edges as well, don't forget, because we've left a little bit of an edge. So basically what you want to do, hang on, I'm just going to do this, is then take a look. Get them on. Good grief, Angela, stop knocking them over. So let's think, where are we going to go? So if I'm going to have blue first, you can, on the larger one, kind of drop it, and then I then kind of pull it out. It's going to take a couple of coats, so we can do some different patterns and things with it. If you want to, you can also, if I just show you on here, if you dispense a little bit of your, it's so shimmery, this one, you can take a paintbrush and paint it in if you want to go precise, but you need quite a bit, and you just dollop it on. If you've got a tiny place, so maybe on this one, it's quite small, you might want to take a paintbrush. So you've got to work quite quickly, because it does dry quickly, especially in this heat as well. Gosh. You can take a paintbrush and then get into the smaller areas, okay, like that. And then you would just, yes, you can rinse your brush in some water, which I did happen to have to my side. It was better luck than judgment, wasn't it? Right, so you can do that as well, okay? So if you want to add it to your felt and then pound, you can. If you want to go straight to your image, then of course you can do that also. I'm just going to get like that for a minute, and we will get the colours to mix. And then I'm going to put a bit of yellow on the end of the wings. Oh, gosh, no. Nearly. As I say, it can pour out quite quickly, so be a little bit careful. And if I show you what this one looks like so far, you can see that we're now starting to, can you see this? So we can see we've now got some colour coming through. So we've got the blues, the yellow, And I've got the little bit of gold. Can you see that? Do you need that behind it? Is that easier? It's probably easier, isn't it? So you can see the colour starting to come up. And that's what we want to build up on. So we're going to just build up on that colour, bringing in whichever colours you want to use. If you're using the ordinary inks, it's the same principle. You just don't have to shake them the way we have. All right. So next colour then. Let's do a bit of green. So if we have some green down here. Now you could just leave it to pour it like that and manipulate it. I just prefer to blend it out a little bit and build it up, because you can get the different kind of mark. They get the dried mark, which isn't, isn't altogether horrible. Oh, look, I put blue down there and none there. Me butterfly. I've got a non-symmetrical butterfly. Hey ho. And then maybe we want a bit more yellow. Let's just do one at a time, Angela. All the way down the edge. That's it. Okay, just going to leave that one there for a minute, and then let's start on the other size, and then come back to the bigger one. If you've got the round pads as well, it's probably easier on here, but I happen to have, I've got both, so that's not a good excuse, Angela, why you're not using them. I just happened to grab these because I've got the felts already. Ooh. There we go. And I don't know if that yellow is going to show there, but we'll see. It's going to show up. Yes, it has. Right. I covered up all my blue here, haven't I? So, and then a little bit of green on the bottom here. What we got? Green and green. Okay. That's it. It's going to need a bit more colour on mine. Right, so we've got the blue on the base on this one. And then let's go for yellow on the top. Where's my yellow one? So hopefully you're getting some colour onto your acetate. Still want a bit more gold on that one. No. I think I might have a gold butterfly here. Ah, it's not too bad. No, the blue is still showing. See, that's a good example of when to use the paintbrush, really. And then a bit more. Let's go on here, I think. Yeah. Got more down like that. Right. No idea. So let's see, what does this one look like? Yeah, not too bad. Give that to dry and then we'll come back to it. So So I'm just going to come back in and add some more colour on here now then. Really give it, so I'm just going to look to build up the colour really. Yes, that's not looking too bad. So I go with the yellow. So just keep adding the colour as and when you want. And then we've got green in this bit here, haven't we? Green here. And here. Just building up the colour. And then a little bit more yellow. It's a big butterfly count this weekend, isn't it? I think it is. Right, I just want a bit more gold, so I'm wondering whether or not I'm going to be able to paint it more precisely. Yes, I am. Oh, she puts her finger right in the wet. You know, that's probably not a good idea. So if we've painted it like that, there we go. See what that looks like. There's the cloth. That'll do for now. Right. I want a little bit more of the blue on here. Right, keep building it up. There we go. And then yellow. Oh, wow. There we go. And the green. And again, I'm going to be doing some more painting with the gold. Right, let's have a look. Ooh, it's mixing up a bit. Okay. How's that looking? Shouldn't have done that. Need a bit more blue on there. Okay, let's put some blue on. Let's get the cloth out. There we go. Not too bad. Wow. That's really going to drip. There we go. I think that's probably a bit better. The other colour should be fine. Right, let's have a look at our little one. I think I'm going to paint this little one. Give this one some colour. Stamp the other one, the other little one. It's fine. You can do either. Did you? There we go. Better. And then green. Oh, was it green or yellow? It was yellow, wasn't it? Green, yellow, yellow, green, yellow. Fourth one I pick up will be the right colour. Let's see, so right. Looks much better when it's down against the white than it does when it's up in the air somewhere. And that blue wasn't dry, so I've just smudged that. Right, okay. Now, whilst this dries quickly, once you are finished, we're just going to move it to the side. Clear up. Oh, Angela. Right, so when you're happy with what you've done, I'm going to put this one like this. What's the time? Okay, and then just going to move that to one side and leave it out so it really does dry off. Okay. Right. That's out the way for the minute then. And I'm just going to clear up. You need to avoid using the same felts for the ink and the pearls / mixative. So that's why I'm just taking them off for a minute and making the most amazing noise while I'm doing it. Let's get them out of the way. So I am going to just tidy up a little bit. How are we all doing? We've got our images coloured. I know I've just put water on there and this is alcohol. Because it's on a silicone mat, it will actually just rub off. If it's not coming off of whatever surface you've got, drop a little bit of alcohol solution onto it. Or even sanitizer. Okay. Right. So this is what I've done so far then, is we've stamped on the acetate and heat embossed or used stays on, cut out, and then we trying to get a cleaner piece for you. Right, we then have coloured the back of the acetate with the alcohol inks. All right, so when you're ready, just let me know, and we're going to go on and create the background. So you'll need your dye-based inks, your distress, or anything like that for the background, which I'm hoping I did say have to hand. Can't remember. Thank you, Nicola. Just going to move them out of the way. Just doing a little bit of tidying, sorry. Okay. Them to one side for the minute. We might need some paper towel in the next bit, but it's not essential really. There are other ways of dealing with what we're going to do. Thanks, Helen. Thanks, Nikki. Thank you, Moya. And thank you, Brenda. And Pauline. Thank you very much. There are 14 on, oh, there might be 13 on because I think it counts my one as well. So I don't know how the rest of you are getting on. Hopefully you're all doing okay. There's time anyway, so that's fine. Thank you, Brenda. Oh, I've said that, haven't I? Yes. Duh. All right. Okay. Everybody, I'll give you a couple more minutes and then we'll go on to do the background. Right. Okay. So the piece of card I'm going to use now is I've cut to 14.3 centimeters square to sit on a allegedly a 6x6 card, but they're not. And the ones I have, they're not even square. Anyway, never mind. One's 14.5 and one's the other way is 14.6 or something. So this kind of fits in okay. Thank you, Nicola. I've used smooth card, Nikki. You can use anything, watercolor. We're going to have a little tiny bit of water on, not a lot, so the stencil should take it. I'm actually using Pink Frog Super Smooth, but stencil card should take it. The only bit of water that's going on is when we spritz the colour of the mat. You know, the mat. So we're going to do a splodgy background to start with. So watercolor card, stencil card should take that amount of water. Super smooth. Anything should really that's got a good base. So at least 300 GSM should take it without any problem. Okay, so what we're going to do, move that out of the way first. I know I'm using a selection of different stamps here. But the first thing we've got to do is get some ink down. And I've chosen colours that actually mirror what I've done in the butterfly, to be quite honest. Of course, you could go completely the other way, but because I'm doing a red, orange and yellow other backgroundy kind of thing, I wanted to stick with these colours. So these are the colours that I've chosen. So I'm going to use the salvaged patina first. We've used this technique quite a bit. I'm just going to smooth. I'm going to make it more roundish because otherwise if it's too square, you just get the square lines. Then I'm going to spritz and just pick it up. Ooh, nice big blob there, Angela. So just how do you do random? Look at that. How done? It's hardly random, is it? Right. And then when you've got that on there, if you've got a lot of water on here, you could either take it off on another piece of card, or I'm going to be really naughty and use the towel. I'm trying to think where my journal book is. Oh, that's the big one. Where's the little one gone? I don't know. It's embarrassing. If you saw this room, you would just have a hissy fit, I think. I'm about to. Oh, there it is. It's just so badly untidy. It's not true. So on this one then, I mean, on the other one when I was doing it, let me show you. I had a spare piece of card left, so I used the spare piece of card that was lying around, which I actually might. I still got some card cut. Oh, a tag. Oh, do you know what? I'm going to use my tag. So I just went over it to take some of the water off of this card to help it dry. Because with oxides, you really want to, if you can, avoid heat drying it if you can, because you get a stronger colour. The heat will dull the colour down slightly. I mean, it's not massive. So it's not a major issue in life. If you happen to have a spare piece of card knocking around the joint, then you can. It depends where you're working. And then I also did just dab off some of the water on here as well, so it did dry a little more quickly. All right. Make sure the colour's wiped up from your mat. So if you've got a lot left, then maybe you want to grab some of that colour on the background as well. And then I'm going to do a little bit of green, just a little bit. A little bit of green. And some water. And again, just trying to capture up. There we go. And then with your card, with your tag, you can then start to pick some of the colour up off of the paper, so you get 2 for 1. And then obviously if you've got a bit more on the mat, you can always add a bit more colour from there. And then I'm going in with the third colour in exactly the same way. I'm just going to dab this a little bit. And I'm going to bring in some yellow. My yellow is very, very soft. It's a squeezed lemonade. So it's almost looks like the green oxide, although it's not. There's the lemon. Oh, you cannot see that. Can you? Oh, how can you see that? So it's that bit there, and then that's the green. So they look very similar on the camera. Let's get a bit. Yeah, I didn't want the mustard seed because I didn't want it to be that dark. I don't know if that's enough. Let's have a look. Let's get. Trying to be a bit more precise with the yellow. Let's have a look and see how successful I am there. That's not too bad. So I'm just going to pick up what I can of the yellow on my tag. That's it. So now I've got a tag that's ready to use as well. It's quite good. I mean, you could even put the butterflies on the tag, really, but save this for later. So I've now got our background, and hopefully it's not too wet. If you do need to give it a waft, then do so. Get that out of the way now. Okay. So once this is ready, and then going to start adding some background stamping to it. Have a look at which way it goes, which way do you want, wherever the pattern is. Is there a way up that you particularly like, or not, as the case may be? And then have a rough idea in your head where you're going to place your images. So obviously with my butterflies, I've just done that. But it depends on what you cut. So you may want a more central one. You may want to go larger up to small, which you can do. Switch it the other way, which I might do on this one. Whatever it is, if it's flowers, you might want to have just bring them together in the corner. Whatever it is that you think would look best for you, bear in mind where they're going when we're doing the background stamping. Now I'm going to use another pink frog stamp here. Sorry guys, I'm just ringing the changes for you. Anything you've got will do. Clarity's journaling statement, any of the All and Create background stamps, any from not necessarily Lucinda Hobby Art. They sometimes haven't. They've got some as well, haven't they? So whatever you're using, whichever ones you're using, will be fine, I'm sure. And then I'm just going to add whichever ink pad you prefer. I'm just now going to add for using this text. And I haven't got it on a block because I want to roll it, not just thump it down. And it would be a good idea if I had it up the right way. Yes. So although it doesn't actually say anything, you would be able to tell it was upside down. Like that. Then maybe on there. And then there. Of course, getting it straight would look even better. There we go. And then when you're using oxides on a stamp, please do take it. You don't have to clean your VersaFine stuff off, but your oxides will affect any further stamping. So if you have oxides on your stamp and you then what that is, stamp with the black VersaFine ink, it will actually look duller because the chalk is on here. So I'm giving it a bit of a white, but might need another one after that. And then I'm just going to bring in some background stamps, and these can be anything. You could even use bottle tops dabbed into the ink. Anything really. I mean, these have got these kind of shapes in them. This stamp set, it's got all sorts of background stamps really. So whatever it is that you've got, and I'm gonna put some colour on here, and I'm just gonna use my fingers as the stamp block. I'm just going to put 3 down somewhere. Let's go like that. Or you can put 5. I'm just going to put a couple of different stamps in. So there's that one. I'm going to need cleaning in a minute. I then used this little ziggy zaggy one. This little it's that one here. I'm using this one here. But you can use whichever ones you want, obviously, whichever ones you have to hand. And then I'm just going to stamp. It's dreadfully hard to see this colour, but it is there. You can see it close up. I'm not going to be able to show it to you on the camera very easily, I don't think. Well, I didn't earlier, did I? So I'm going to put 5 on 1, 2, 3. Let's go for one here. Oh, and I know what I was going to do. And some into the centre as well. It doesn't hurt to have them peeking out from behind your image. Let's have another one there. And they don't have to be complete either, which that one most definitely is not. And because we're going to have black ink on the stamps, on your acetate images, I'm just going to use a little bit of black, and I'm actually going to use the black soot. I'm not using the VersaFine, so it's softer. I'm just going to use another one of these stamps. I'm just going to bring in a little bit. Which way did I do it on that one? Yeah, it's just a little bit. It can go either way. So if you want, you could stamp it this way. Actually, I might change it up a bit to what I did before. So you could, a little bit of black there, that way round. And then again, I'm going to come in. Let's go up here. So you've just got a little bit of the black, and we are going to do the edges as well. So I probably didn't mention the Sharpie pen, did I? So when you finished that little bit, I'm just going to let mine dry a little bit. Then, yeah, it's a bit wet still, so I'm just going to leave it like that to dry. And carry on doing your background how you want them to done, and then once all that's done, we'll then finish the edges off and make up this card. Except I haven't got my card out, have I? Did I get my card base out? No, of course I didn't. I'll just grab that because it happens to be filed. I'll grab the card base in a minute. So whilst you're just finishing that little bit off, I'm going to clean my stamps. Make sure we get them nice and clean from the oxide. And if your stamps have got the VersaFine on as well, they might still be black, but it's always a good idea. I still haven't put that on right. How does that go? Like it really matters. There we go. Like it's really important. Make sure hands are clean before we use the base card. So that's nice and clean. There we go. Then when it's dry, I'm going to Sharpie the edge. Or you use your ruler. You do it however you want to do it. Just going to... And guess what happened to me when I did this yesterday? So I had to start all over again. Right, so let's be mindful of what we're doing here. Just going to do a thin line down here. Right. And then if you let me know, ooh, when you're at that point, we will then look to put the card together, which I know you all know how to do. do it together, I just know where everybody is. Okay. It's rather a nice tag, that, isn't it? I like that. Do another butterfly now on that one. Pop that to the side. Then we're going to get the card ready, and we're going to then get our acetate pieces as well. All right. So when you've done your card base, let me know. Not your card, but this bit, the topper. Once you've finished your topper, let me know, and then we'll put it together at the same time. As I said, just so we all work together. I think I'm going to... So any of you have anything planned for the rest of the day? Going out or staying in? Or it's lovely, isn't it? Gorgeous colour sky out there. Thank you, Moya. Yeah, that's always nice though, isn't it, Moya, sometimes to do nothing. I know I got to get to the garden at some point. I can't go out in the height of the heat though, so I will get out there at some point. Now they've stopped the green bag collection as well for the next month. Oh, Brenda, you're off out with your hedge trimmer. Go you. Is it a cordless one? I've got some hedges to trim back as well. I better get that on charge. And my greatest achievement of the week was that I have I bought myself a rotary line, and I've obviously got this Nam grass out the back. Well, obviously, I don't know if you know that, but I've got Nam grass out the back, and so I had to sort that out, and I got my stake all the way in. I'm very proud of myself. I got my rotary line out. Woohoo! That's good, Brenda. Make the teacher's end of term cards. Oh, okay, Lucinda. And how many of that is that you got to make? Oh, fantastic, Nikki. Yes, I had to miss my last hair appointment. There was a family emergency. So they managed to get me in for a cut, but the other appointment I missed was actually the colour as well. So I've got to get back there. Still, we're used to that now, aren't we? Now we've gone through lockdown. Long, struggly hair desperately needing colouring isn't a major issue anymore, is it? That's great. Well, I hope you have a lovely time there. So what kind of cards are you going to be making, Lucinda? How many, more to the point? That sounds like a good idea, Nicola. I think I could manage that one as well. Oh, how lovely, Helen. That's good. I'm going out for a walk tomorrow evening. 2 cards, but each incorporates 30 photos and messages. 3.5 meters long. Oh my word, Lucinda. Oh my goodness me. Oh well, good luck with that then. Wow. That's very good of you to do that. I mean, Lucinda, that's like making curtains, isn't it? Having all that fabric, you've got all that card. Wow. Well done, you. That's great. Okay, how are we all doing? Are we ready to put our card together? I think most of us probably are. So I'm just going to glue it on. So attach it any way you feel most comfortable with. And then I want to show you something, depending on what you've done. But I'll show you with the butterflies. You can incorporate what we're going to do. And I know I haven't told, I'm just going to show you something, which we have done in the past, I think. But I'm just going to, we actually did it at the weekend, which I'm not meant to, not telling you everything that we did in the weekend. However, you can do it with a fine liner pen as well. I'm just going to show you another way of doing it, which I think we have done in the training room. In the, you know, not in the training room, look at me, going back to my former life. In the workshops, I know we've done it. So it's just having these things reminded, you know, you get reminded of these things sometimes. In fact, what I might do is just talk you through it. I'm not actually going to, I'll just stick to my fine liner pen. You don't even need to do it, but it's just something to show you. Right, now, take your images and decide where you want to put them. What do I do in the glue? So let's see, do I go this way this time? Why not? I think I might go this way this time. So if I go like that, and where's that one going? We'll go off again at a different angle, like that. So get your position right, so you know. And then we're going to start to glue them. If you had more bits and pieces on and you wanted to make sure you got the right order, then you know, take a picky of it. And then I'm just going to fold mine up slightly. I got a bit carried away on my big one last time, slightly crackly embossing, but you know, it's not a major issue. We don't really look any different. Just going to give it a little bit of a bend. And then I'm just putting glue along the middle of the body, the thorax, whatever it's called. There we go. And then, so depending on your shape, you know, give it a little bit of a bend or a again, we can put some glue on the middle. If you wanted these to be raised up, you could put foam pad or anything like that underneath them. Oh, do this before I do the gluing. There we go. And then on this one, you can see I've used fine liner just to do like butterfly trails, which you can do. You can also do it with paint, which we've done before. So I just wanted to remind you of that. I don't know who was with me when we did it. I can't remember. It might have been Hampshire. whether we did it so that you use a ball, tool, and paint. Which group did I do that with? Might even have been Reading. And you can do it with white. I mean, you can use gesso, white or black, if you want to. And I'll just show you on a piece of paper. Because I know you won't have this stuff to hand. Well, not unless you're sitting in your craft room and you can just turn around and get it. So with white, it would probably be better on a bit of black card, wouldn't it? Have I got any scraps of black card? Here we go. So you can do it on any colour. It will show up, but just so it's easier for you to see. So you just take a ball tool. I know we've done this. Yeah, we have done it before, haven't we? Yeah, that's right, Moya. We did the dip dots. And yes, I knew we'd done it. Did I? I have done it with Dorset and Hampshire as well, haven't I? Or Hampshire and Dorset. I know we've done it. But you can take the paint and do it like that with white and white gesso. We've done it before. Yeah, I know we've done it before. Just reminded of it. Because when we started doing it, I'm thinking, oh, I've done this. And then the same with the black. So, you know, depending on what you want to do. This, I know you haven't got this paint to hand because I didn't ask you to get it to hand because I only just thought about doing it. There you go. So that's something that you can try if you want to. I might put a few little black ones on mine, if you don't mind. And then we've used this gesso, so it's further in the pot. So I'm just gonna, and of course they get smaller and smaller as the paint, as you do your dots, they get smaller. So you can go back over them. There we go. Just to give it a little bit of extra goodiness. Or if you've got your fine liners to hand, depending obviously on what you have used, which images you've used. But that's another little tip for you. So those of you that haven't been at my workshops, or I've done that, that's something to consider as well with your ball tools. And the larger the ball tool, obviously, larger the hole, the dot. And you can do it, I mean, I use my purple Maya things from Clarity, but whatever dots you've got is fine. And you do it as well, don't you, Moya, with the gold thing from Pergamano, with this pen thing, with the pen. You can do it, can't you? I think, or is that only for the glue? I know we've done it with the gold. Anyway, that's the front of your card. If you want to replicate, and I know I did say, I mean, if you had a piece of card that fitted and you want to cut it down, you could put that to the side inside. So you had, you know, something that brought the inside and the outside together. You could do that. I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to leave that for the minute so I can show you the next one. Thank you, Moya. Yes, we did do it with the gold. I thought I was going nuts. But we did. Excellent. Now, because I've used the paint, I've got to put that aside to dry now. But then let's have a look at this other piece. There's no cutting out this time. Well, no cutting out of the image. What I have here, oh no, not again, is a stamp sticking to my acetate. The acetate and the card are both cut to 14.3 centimetres again to go on the card base. All right, and as you saw in my image, I did actually put it on a black one this time now, a black card. Only to heighten it. If we don't do that, then you can highlight, you can edge this card as well in black. Otherwise, this is literally at the back, so it can be any card you want. You're not going to do anything with this card at all. Okay? So, I mean, in one effect, I guess, it could just be a slightly thicker paper. It doesn't even have to be your posh card if you've got thinner paper. So what we're going to do this time is we're going to stamp our image again. So we've got to do this bit again. Sorry, has everybody finished their card? There's me rushing off though, you know, getting excited. Have you actually finished? Yeah, is everybody ready to move on? Or not yet? Let's get that out of the way. Right, I'll just wait for you. A couple of minutes. Oh, you are okay. Thank you. I think we will use Zoom next week. Next a fortnight's time. So we can have a chat as well. Okay, Nikki. You're ready to move on though. You're happy to move on. That's okay. Everybody else happy to move on? All right. Okay, so this time again, we're going to stamp. I am going to pop some more powder on here. It does make it less slippery. I mean, it doesn't make it non-slippery at all, but it does help, I think, and it should hopefully help not have embossing powder everywhere, especially if you're using a black embossing powder. I mean, in theory, I know I'm going to use black ink again, but in theory, you can do this in any colour you like, really, what we're doing. It's just another way of showing you something. Right, I need a piece of paper with the... It's my... Oh, there it is. There's the embossing paper. Let's just do it on here and then it's fine. Let's ink this up then. And the idea with this one was like a sunset behind it. Again, it doesn't have to be... I need to try and get it to blend more. Let's try and do it a bit quicker. Right. And this is when alcohol ink would work as well. Alcohol markers would work as well. So let's put that on straight with the edge. I think my tree might be, it's going to look like it's falling over. Right. Oh, I haven't got my embossing powder ready. Okay, let's peel that one off. I've got the gnarled bark look here. Okay. I don't think it's a good idea to put that in the lid. Not that I have a lot left. I actually spilt some of it on at the weekend. It was on the paper and I was just about to put it away and I caught the edge of the paper and it just jumped up everywhere. It was, if I hadn't have seen it for myself, I would have thought it wouldn't have happened. Oh, back down on a lower heat. What's happened to that? Looks like I don't have enough embossing powder there. Maybe. So, oops, as you can see, I'm embossing. Okay. Right, dry, or cool down, should I say. Just gonna put that away. All right, so this time I'm actually going to use the gold again, I've decided, but I'm going to use a sunset colour. I know I've stuck to the general red, orange, yellow, but obviously you've got mauve as well that could come in there. You could do a bluey, mauvey kind of sky with yellow on it. Just want to see how this little lot goes then. So get all your bits and pieces ready again with your pads. To make sure my mixture is now okay. You may want to, when it's cool, you may just want to wipe, because it's got quite a bit of acetate here, you might want to wipe off any powder that you can see in the anti-static powder or whatever you used. Do make sure your image is cool though. Right, turn it from the back again, and this is especially for stays on. So if you ain't like that with stays on, you might end up with a bit of a problem. So what you can do, whoops, see, so used to shaking them, just shaking the ones that don't need shaking. So again, you can just pour it on. There's no reason not to. You can make different patterns with it on here, with this, because obviously it's going to move. So you can still do this, but you can slide it as well, depending on what it is you're doing with a ship. If you had a ship, you had some waves, you can actually move it in such a way, or you can put it straight onto your pad again and just dip. You can, if you want to create a pattern, obviously drip just a drop, a little piece of fluid on the back. It's going to pale it down, but if you want patterns, you can do that. We're going to do, going quite high this one now. So then we've got a little bit of, now where am I going to put the gold? Might want to put the gold where this is going actually. Where am I going to put, where would you put the gold? So it's red, yellow, red, orange, yellow. Do I put it? I might put it up where the orange and the yellow are. Right, okay. So let's do, we've got the next colour coming in. Obviously we'll go back. And again, we just I haven't done it quite as straight this time. It's kind of sort of better. And then obviously we can put our blending solution on our tool, and it will give us more cell-like. Can you see? Once you've done it, you'll know. Can you see you've got different cells, things coming in here, different like cells, and that's from the blending solution. So again, depending on the effect you want, it's quite cool this idea. I like this. You can see it just comes out, so you can get rings of light as well, but whatever you want to do. Oops, it's a bit too much. I'm just gonna hopefully move it along that way. There we go. Oops, it's quite thick. Right, and then before it goes into the yellow, I'm going to have a bit of the gold, which I will put on here. And I won't do it perfect so that I can then... Oops, maybe I put too much on. I was going to try and get the yellow to go on top with it as well. Gold. Let's just have some splatters where the yellow is going to be as well. And then bring the yellow in. Okay, so you can do any kind of effect really. So while this is still wet, I'm actually going to pop the orange. Ooh! Actually, what about the gold? I wonder what that's going to do now when I do this. Other than make a mess. Put our yellow back down again. And there. And then if you want more colour, go back over it again, as we have done before. I'm going to be using the felts. Oh no, don't add colour to your pad over your work because it will just go all over it. There we go. Now this is still a bit wet. It's tacky. I'm just going to have a look. Yeah, there's quite a bit of gold. Do I want more? Put some more yellow up here, I think. And then I kind of like the cell-like structures behind it. A bit of the orange and the gold going up there. Let's do a little bit more yellow over here. There we go. So however yours is panning out. Ooh, can't see what colour they are. See on the pearly ones they show you the colour is shows. Okay. So I'm just going to let that sit and dry. And then whilst it's doing that, you can have a think about how you want to adhere it to your card. So you could either, if you've got a thick black bit like I have with the stem, you could put the glue there. And if you're going to put gems or something on the corners, you could put it underneath that as well. Because what I haven't done, obviously, on the butterfly, sorry, you could put sequins or gems on here as well. Anything that you've got in your box, in your little stash that you might want to add to it. I didn't in this instance because I've used the pearl. If you wanted to, you could use any of those embellishments. I'll grab some sequins in a minute and show you. Now I've used brads on this one. This time round though, I'm going to staple it. So I'm going to add some staples, which I'm hoping I've actually got in here. Yes, I think I have. It's not quite dry yet though. It's still a little tacky. So that's what I'm going to do with this one. You could use some runner tapes don't show through it as well as you got the colours, so long as they grow. And I guess any glue that's really clear, if you do it very gently, you don't have a great big splash of it, will go on there. Moy, have you got any other ideas from parchment? I know this is acetate. I'm just wondering whether there's something else that I haven't thought of. So this is dry. Eyelets. You've got eyelets. Brads, yep, Pauline. I've just used ordinary brads on that card. Fancy brads, you can get all sorts of brads, can't you? Some with diamante and stuff in it, and others. But that's the kind of thing you could use. I say I'm gonna staple it, and because it's going onto a piece of card that's then going onto your card, then whatever you use isn't going to show through, so to speak. Okay. So once it's ready to adhere, I'm just going to use the little staples to adhere it. And of course it's not flat. Well, you can do them like that, and then I was going to, or you can do like little crosses if you want. Which is another way of doing it. And then that then goes, I put mine onto black card. If going back onto white, then you might want to put the black around the edge before you put your acetate on. It's all gone defunct, this one, because of the heat. I obviously didn't get it flat enough, did I? Whereas this one wasn't too bad at all. This one was much flatter. So there you go. A couple of different ways that you can add it. And again, this is excellent for using alcohol markers on as well behind it. So if you rub alcohol markers behind it, so you get all sorts of colours, because you've got, those of you with the alcohol markers, I'm sure have got quite a range of them. So that's that idea as well. So that's kind of a quick card, really. Another way of using alcohol inks onto your card. All right, just another idea. As I said, if it's like a ship or something, I don't have a silhouette shape of a ship. You could then pull the alcohol ink, so it gives you kind of like the waves. You do it in a different way. You don't have to pound. You could just pull it all the time. And whatever effect you make on, if you think about what Barbara's done on her papers, if you have a look at some of them, you can do that on the acetate, because it's the same principle kind of thing, really. She does it on Yupo and then scans it in, but you could do that on here as well if there's a certain color mix you want. Okay, so that's that. Any questions about what we've done today? So that, as I said, was a quick way of finishing off the card. Here's my butterflies. I kind of like my butterflies. I'm quite pleased with how they turned out. Now, if you wanted to add sequins to them, of course you can. They happen to be on the top. I wonder why. But my blue ones happen to be on the top. So I bet none of you are surprised about that. So if you wanted to, I mean, I've got 3 different colours here. So if you wanted to, you could just add some sequins. You could add some ordinary gems. You could actually do one of the butterflies. Hang on, let me get this out. You could, another thing we could use, we could do it Christmassy time. Where are they? I mean, you could, if you've got like these pearly things, so you could actually use pearls or gems, little tiny gems, anything like that, if you didn't want to use paint or anything. So there's lots of different ways you can add embellishments to this, which I think I'm gonna use. All right, so you've got one like that where we've cut out images and coloured them from behind, and the other one is where you have a larger piece of acetate with the main image, and then you just add your ink behind. All right, and I just try to show you the different techniques that you can do behind it so that you can have a different idea. All right, is that okay with everybody? Any questions? Your paper, it's not lying flat. Any questions about that at all? Any questions about anything? Thank you, Moya. Anything? Anybody got any questions? No? All right. Some of you asked to see what I did last week. So this is it. This is not finished. So this is the folder. And this it was painted project. This is Luscious powders. And then we did these kind of backgrounds. This is grey board with paper, and that's got to be stuck on yet. That's not finished, as you can see. And then we did different ways of, I'll come back to that in a minute, adding paint to this. Yes, my stamp fell off my thing. Thank you, Nikki. Thank you, Helen. You're welcome. And then I'll show you that a different way here. And then these are spare back here. Then these ones were covered in paper, and then we added, these are actually flower stamps that we then cut out and turned into butterflies. And then on this one, just falling apart, we covered the back in paper and then painted. This is using indigo blue translucent inks, and then these are, ooh, I missed a circle, and these are Luscious as well, and that's the same flower as that flower there, as those butterflies there. All right, so thanks, Nikki. It's not perfect. I should have moved. I mean, I could criticize this till the cows come home, this thing, but this is the kind of thing we got to muck around with. So, you know, all different things here. Thank you. You're very welcome. And then I did the back as well, but this is not finished yet. Okay. Thank you, Nicola. Thank you, Nikki. That's okay. Everybody can finish whenever they want to finish in their own time. So here we've got some, oh, I haven't got another black card handy, but anyway, here are the cards. I know I haven't stuck that one down, but that's fine. Get rid of that. So you can see some different ways of doing it. Done pretty much the same there, haven't I? But different ideas, different ways you can use your inks with acetates. And then, thank you, Nikki. So what I'll do is I'll see you, or well, I will see you. Let's do Zoom on the 31st. I think that might be a good idea. If all of you are in agreement with that, come along. Thanks for your continued support. It means a lot. I should have some news soon. Well, we can go back in September, probably. We can go back, probably. It looks positive if everybody's up to getting back together again in September. The next workshop session will be the last one for a little while, because I'm taking a break in August. I'm sure all of you have got things you want to do on Saturdays. And then I will sort something out once we've got the workshops running, whether there is opportunity to do something else on top of what I'm prepping for the workshops. Okay, so we'll have a look at that. But thank you for joining me again. I'll be in touch soon. Thanks, Brenda. Thanks, Lucinda. Oh dear, Brenda. Hope you haven't missed too much. And then, as I said, I'll catch up with you all very soon. Be in touch about what we hope to do in September, probably after the workshop. I can maybe we'll even talk about it when we do the Zoom, so we can all have a chip in. All right. So take care, everyone. Have a fantastic weekend, week, fortnight, and I'll be back in touch with you all soon. Take care, and thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye.